Welcome back to the channel. What we have here is the Foreman 450. It's a 2003 model. As you guys saw in the last episode of this ATV, we did not get it started. A lot of the problem was in this. I only had 2 out of the 4 float bowl screws, so that's all I had, and it was leaking gas real bad. And I also noticed that this primer here was not working, and I got to looking and got it figured out that it, for some reason or another, even though it was tight on there, it was not setting flush against the base of the float bowl, even though right there it looks like it's got a gap, but it's not. I've already tested it, and it sounds like it's working anyway. So I'm going to install this back on the bike, even though there's a door over there. It's Casper closing the door. See that? Look at that. Thank you, Casper. Well, anyway, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to jam this right on there, and I'm going to hook the go-go juice to it and see if the fuel making it happener will make it happener and make this make noise. Make it bring the thunder, as Vice Grip Garage would say. Anyway, I don't have the clamps, okay, to go here and goes on the air box. I'm missing both them clamps. This intake boot is awfully hard. It's old. I seem like I can feel a crack right there. Yeah, it's got a crack in it. So I'm going to need to replace this. So at the end of this week, I will order a new intake boot for it, and a hose clamp, and the gasket if there is one where it mates to the head, and if not, I got some RTV that I can put on it. I installed a new ignition switch. This is the second ignition switch I put in it in a year and a half. Like I said in the last video, the ignition switch that was in it was brand new. It had only been turned on and off like twice. And between the time it left the last place I lived to the guy's house that it went to, and he put it back in time for me because I didn't have time to mess with it, and somewhere along the way the keys got lost to it because I left them together just like this when it left my possession. But anyway, so I ordered a new ignition switch for it and installed it. It plugs in right there. Okay, you pop this off. There's 2 Phillips head screws in there. This whole dash comes off. You flip it upside down. There's 2 little ears in there. You push them, and the ignition switch will pop out. And then all you gotta do is unplug it from here, and you bring it up through here and out, and you just in reverse order reinstall it once you put a new ignition switch in. I'm missing the vent hose for the gas tank, and you guys will probably get to see that in this video. We'll see what happens there. But the air fuel mixture screw, it's right there in the center of your screen. There is a O-ring that's supposed to be on it, and it fell off. It actually crumbled off last time I cleaned the carburetor. So I don't have an O-ring for it, and I was at the Honda dealer yesterday, and they're trying to sell me a whole rebuild kit. And this carburetor, I believe, has had a rebuild kit put in it in the last 4 years, and it's only had about 5 gallons of gas run through it. So the current rebuild kit that's in it is good. It's been cleaned. All the jets and passages are open. It does not need a rebuild kit. I just need that, either that air fuel mixture screw with a new O-ring or a new O-ring. But Honda wanted to sell me a rebuild kit. I don't need a rebuild kit. I just need that screw or the O-ring that goes on it, one of the two. But anyway, even though it'll be sucking air past that screw, it won't have the right air fuel mixture. I know that, but at the same time, we're going to see if it will at least attempt to run. So, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and install the carburetor, hook up the throttle and the choke linkage, and slap it on the head, okay? And I'll bring you guys back just as soon as I get it to that point. And I may even go ahead and slam the gas tank on it and hook up the juice hose. So the fuel making it happener can make this bring the thunder, okay? I'll bring you guys back when I get that done. Okay, YouTubers, I decided to do a compression check on this Foreman 450 to verify that it's got compression, and it has 185 psi compression, and it jumps up there pretty quick. I will show you guys. Okay, I'll turn this booster pack back on. If I can find the button. There's a joke in there somewhere. Okay. See the lights on? Okay, watch the needle. Okay, now, wow, it's closer to 210 now. It's like 190 psi. So it has plenty of compression to run. I really think the problem is in this carburetor. It will try to start as long as I hand choke it and I got gas at the back or on my hand at the back of the carburetor, and then it'll suck it in. It will try to start, but it will just try to start, and I can turn the choke on, okay, and it will shoot gas out of the back of the carburetor, and it will attempt to start until I try to give it gas. When I give it gas, it quits trying to start. I can turn the choke off, and whether or not I'm trying to give it gas or not, it won't start. It won't even try to start. It won't hit or nothing. So it's almost like it's starving for fuel. I have cleaned this carburetor a few times off of camera. I don't know what else to do for it. It's got a new primer assembly on it. The guts in the carburetor look good, but I don't know why it's not getting fuel. So the compression test reveals that it's not a compression issue. So I'm not sure what to do next, other than put another carburetor on it and try that. That's going to be the next step. So I think I'm going to order a carburetor, and whenever it comes in, I'll put it on and we'll give it a shot then and see if it'll run. For me, it's going to be a few days, but for you guys, it's going to be in the next clip. I don't know how much of this I have recorded, but I have worked on this thing off camera a lot, trying to figure out what's going on with it. It won't run, so I thought the problem may be in this carburetor because I couldn't get the primer thing to work or anything on it. So I got on eBay and ordered this Chinese knockoff carburetor and put on it, and it still won't run. Well, I put the crank in time, and in that hole there, which I know you can't see it, let's see if I can turn the light on for you. Well, it has moved on me. Anyways, in that hole, there's supposed to be a T and then a line under that's running like that, and it's supposed to be center of the hole. Let me get that mark back in the center of the hole, and I will bring you back and show you more. Okay, I got it figured out. See that T right there? And that mark below it? It's supposed to be center of the hole, okay? That puts the crank in time, the piston at top dead center. Okay, which it's right about here is the top of the cylinder, so it's right around here is where the piston is, or the top of the piston is. This is the head, this is the cylinder. Anyway, thanks to this bright light here, we can go around here and look and see that it's not in time. If you look, I'll find it here in the screen. I guess the fenders are blocking me. But there's a bolt right there, and on the other side of that bolt is a timing mark. See that little dot there? It's supposed to line up with that thing at the top of the case there. That thing that's pointing down, looks like an arrow. Okay, it is that far out of time. So anyways, what I'm going to try to do is take them two bolts out, take that sprocket off, and rotate the camera around, and take the sprocket out of the chain and put it back in it, and try to put it back in time that way and see what happens. I'll bring you back when I get that done. Okay guys, I got her in time. I have figured out it. If you can see in there, see the T still center of the hole basically. It's got a little bit of lash back and forth, a little bit of leeway. That's what I call it anyway. As you can see, I got the cam turn around. See that timing, see that dot right there? It's lined up with that pointer right here on the top of the case. Okay, see those two are in line with each other. Now it will run. All I gotta do now is tighten these sprocket bolts back down, put the washer and the nut back on the centrifugal clutch here, and torque it down. And then take this cover, and there's a couple pieces I'll show y'all where they go, like this piece here, and there's another piece. It's right here. Okay, I'll show y'all how that goes and how that works. Alright, anyways, let me get them bolts tightened back down on that sprocket, and the washer and the nut put back on the centrifugal clutch here, and I will bring you guys back and show you where those two pieces go. They're going that side of the engine, and I will show you. Okay, YouTubers, I didn't show me putting these on, but I'll kind of run you through it. Okay, the first piece, it looks like this. You'll see this, okay? There's a hole in the center of this clutch. There's a bearing behind it. The bearing goes in first, and then this piece has a shoulder that fits inside the bearing, okay? And it just slides in. Simple as that. Okay, and this piece here, I'm not sure exactly what this piece is called. It's just a long piece. It's got a stem that points towards the engine. Do not put it that way because the cover won't go on. It points towards the engine. There's a little washer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see this washer here? That washer goes on after this arm does. And then all you gotta do is take this cover. Okay, take this cover, and you get it in here and just kind of line it up out here, and then slowly push it up onto the engine, and it will more or less find its place. And then you start sticking all the bolts in the holes, and make sure you got them all in the right holes, because all stick out the same length on the cover there. And then you just slowly go all the way around it and tighten them up. That's what I did. I know there's a torque sequence that you're supposed to use, but blah 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 blah. Yeah, drop it down below, I know. But anyway, so I just go around it a couple of times, maybe 3 times. Make sure they're all good and tight. You don't want to tighten it so much that you give it one more righty-tighty and it all of a sudden becomes a lefty-loosey. You don't want that. You want it to be a righty-tighty snuggie. Okay? And after that's done, then you go over here. You got your oil lines, okay? Your oil cooler lines. There's one. There's another one hanging out here somewhere. Right here. Here's the other one. They have little O-rings on the end of them. Whatever you do, make sure you don't lose those. Okay? This one may be gone. No, it's still there. Okay. And it's got what I call a crow's foot that goes between these two lines, and it holds it on this cooler. Okay? And it looks just like that. That's what it is. It holds the two oil cooler lines on. Okay? And I'm dripping oil all over myself on the floor. Look at that. But anyway, as soon as I get this cover on, I will bring you guys back and show you more, show you what I've done. And then we will finally try to start this thing again. Well, after I put oil back in it. And I have the oil sitting around here somewhere. Right there's the oil filter. And there is one hole on this cover that's messed up. It's this one here for the bolt hole for the cover, the filter cover. I may have to try to find a tap and tap that hole out and put a new bolt in before we can start it, because I don't know how bad it's going to spray oil, because I won't be able to tighten it down. But anyways, enough with the rambling. I'm going to put you guys on hold. I'm going to get this cover on, the oil line's on, and I'll bring you back. As you guys can see, I got the front cover back on. I got the oil lines hooked back up. All the bolts are tight. I done put oil in it. I put the spark plug back in it. I put the timing plug back in it. I put the recoil starter back on it. Now, I just went outside and got the gas tank. Yes, it was sitting outside, and no, I don't have the hose for it, whatever. So, we're going to hook this up and see if it'll run. Actually, it needs to go like this to reach. Alright, let me hook that up and I'll bring you right back. Okay guys, here we go. I run out of memory on my phone here, so I had to delete a few things. And in the process, I went on ahead and started it up, and it fired right up, surprisingly. I did have to, this is my switch for the cooling fan on the oil cooler down there. So I had to tighten the connections up there to get the fan to working. Okay, and I'll fire it up and let you guys hear it. I think it needs a timing chain tensioner put on it, which it's no big deal. I'll have to pull the front cover back off, I believe. But anyway, it needs a timing chain tensioner, and I know the top end will have to come up some, so it's going to disturb the base gasket. So I know that it's going to need a base gasket and a head gasket. So basically the top end gasket kit, it has like 190 psi compression, so it don't need a top end. It'll just need a gasket kit and a new tensioner put on it, and it'll be ready to go. Then I'll have to jump back on the front end and finish building it, and it'll be ready to ride. And as always, guys, thank you for watching, or should I say fellers and fellettes, as the Vice Grip Garage would say. But anyways, thank you for watching. Please like, comment down below, subscribe, share, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, just whichever you feel like. And as always, Jesus saves. Thank you for watching.